Hello everyone, I'm Video Games, and welcome back to another video. Do you have garbage friends? You know, the ones that, like, they're really annoying, but you just can't get rid of them because, you know, it's a whole thing, like, it's a whole hassle to find new friends, and it's just keep the ones you have. So you just let them bully you, and now, look where you are. They've encased you within border blocks, just for their own amusement. Or on the other hand, don't quote me on this, but are you in a school? Because I'm pretty sure some schools use Education Edition. I'm pretty sure these blocks are in Education Edition. Anyway, and your school is run by idiots who allow you to get these blocks. At least the blocks you're going to need, the materials you're going to need to escape. Also, normally I wouldn't take out my anger on, you know, schools or whatever, because that sounds so bad. Anyway, normally I wouldn't be that upset about schools, but, my school district kind of screwed me over, so to get my vengeance, I'm kind of just gonna, you know, make this video, so screw them. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to escape the border. By the way, I'm Mexican, so I can make any racially motivated joke I want. Sue me. Which, they have many, like, variations, so essentially you have just the regular border blocks, and then the thing about these border blocks is that I'm an operator, so right now I can just walk over them, and I can place them when I'm in creative, you know, blah blah blah. But the thing is that, once I go into survival, there's no getting over these blocks. And even if you're not an op and you're still in creative, which is where that kind of whole like friend thing comes into play. Even if you're in like survival, or like you are in creative and you're just not an op, you physically just can't get past this. It's like it goes all the way up to past world height, and it goes past the bottom of the world, I believe. So there's no going around it. So there's only one way to, you know, do it. You have to go through it. Anyway, the way that these two look is then you have just the, you know, the cool looking kind of glass one. This is what we had on last Life Bedrock Edition. And, so essentially it's just this border block, but then underneath it, I can show you guys actually. Actually, I'm gonna have to go creative. It's just the border block, but underneath the glass. And the thing about that is you can't break the glass. Like, look, I'm holding down the trigger. It's not working. You can't break the glass. It's impossible. Or is it? I'll explain that later. But as you can see, if I go all the way down, that was the same thing. So you can see if I go all the way down. I'm professional at this, by the way. If I go all the way down here. Normally this would be at bedrock level, but I was lazy, so I didn't put it at bedrock level. Same thing, honestly. The thing about, if you put the border blocks underneath, like I said, they still go all the way up to world height, and you can't break these in survival. So that's not gonna ever happen. You're never gonna get through that. Or are you? You just shut up. And then finally, this is the point where you just literally have to consider stopping, like, this, you know, stopping in front of someone. Because first of all, you have the border blocks underneath. The bedrock goes all the way down to, well, bedrock. And then it goes all the way up to world height. So this is like the generic, you know, well, actually this would probably go up to world height too, so yeah, just imagine this goes up to world height. I was too lazy to put it up to world height, leave me alone. Anyway, so this goes all the way up to world height. It's bedrock, it looks ugly, but kind of cool in a weird way. I don't really know exactly. Anyway, I'll show you how to get past this too, because I'm a professional con artist, okay? I know what I'm doing. I'm like Houdini, trust me. I'm good at getting into places I'm not supposed to. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna show you the first method right now. So I'm gonna order these in like worst to best, in my opinion. Like, I think there are some methods that are better than others, but for this example, the first one, we're just gonna like I said, you can't break this. Like, there's no breaking these blocks. Like, none of these. You can't break any of these. Essentially, so what you're gonna have to do is this is gonna be like the most like tedious and kind of annoying one. So that's why this one's the worst. I'm gonna show you 5 methods. You can just get up against the border. Course fruit works every single time. Just kidding, that's why I don't like this one, because first you have to go to the end and get course fruit, and second, course fruit, it's unpredictable, so you have to get a decent amount of course fruit, and you'll never know exactly where you're gonna be, and it's kind of tedious, because like I said, you have to go to the end, you have to get the course fruit, you don't know exactly where you're gonna end up. Sometimes you just will be kind of far and it won't take you to the other side of the border. It's just unreliable. That's why I don't like the course fruit idea. Okay, so the second way you can get through this wall would be via, you have to have it at night. So for this example, I'm just gonna set it to midnight. You have to have it at night, and then you gotta place a bed right here up against the border. You gotta place the bed. You gotta block off a bunch of the area around the bed. That way you just can't respawn outside of the bed. So you're gonna block off. At least I do like 2 blocks, like just a kind of a layer of 2 blocks. I put like, I put 1 block higher actually. You want to be safe. So then you're gonna just place all this, sleep, and then when you wake up, you can phase through. Now, the reason I don't like this method is that it has to be night, and the reason that's still night, that's not actually, you know, a gameplay thing. It's just because I have, you know, I have daylight cycle off. So if I turn daylight cycle on, it will just change. Okay, if I just do daylight cycle, sorry. But yeah, if I do daylight cycle thing, it will change. But that's the thing about this one, is that it has to be night. I'm just gonna go around it because I didn't place this all the way across the world, because why would I do that? This is just an example. But first issue is it has to be night, and that's kind of the really sucky thing. But like I said, daylight cycle, that's why I didn't switch. Probably should have, you know, thought that through, but whatever. Yeah, now it's day. And that's kind of annoying because you want to go between quickly. You can't really do that. Like, say you have to go back and get some sand on the other side or whatnot. Too bad, you have to wait. Or say you have like a chest on the other side. Too bad, you have to wait. So it's just, that one's just really tedious. But this is kind of just one of the last resort type of things. So then what I would do though, if I did have to use this one, say they patched all the other methods, which I doubt they will, because it's just, you know, they're kind of like, they're not that really big of a, it's not really that big of a deal. I doubt they'd actually patch it, but if they do patch the method, and this is the last thing, like, you have to use the last option, dude, I would just make a staircase, something like just a simple staircase. You can hop over, jump onto this side, and then use the bed. This is something I noticed is actually is that no entities can move. Like, say technically if you throw like an axe or something, that is an entity. And no entities, which is animals, items like that have been dropped on the floor, none of that. You can't even place blocks. I don't know if I mentioned this, but you can't place blocks. Actually, that's a bad block to place. I'm out of blocks. You can't place blocks on the other side, so that's not something that's possible, obviously. But projectiles can be put on the other side. So this led to the obvious conclusion that you can teleport to the other side using chorus fruit, and you can get projectiles to the other side. I wonder if you can pearl. And guess what? Simplest way. You know, one time, it's actually a funny story, is that my friend, I'm gonna die. They put me on a border, and they didn't think I can do anything. And then they were playing with end crystals, but I was still in creative, and I just shot an arrow, blew up their end crystals. The good old days. Okay, alright, so the next method is gonna be similar to the bed method. So essentially, you gotta make sure you have a boat. You're gonna make a singular block area. So we're just gonna block all the way around. Basically the same thing we did for that one with like the spawn radius and stuff, but you can have a little bit more leeway. But I'm just gonna do this because I just want to make sure I spawn on the other side. So we're gonna just place a bunch of blocks, you know, so you can't spawn on this side, and then you're gonna place a boat. Okay, so this boat, it's kind of in a weird position because it's just in a really weird position. So then you use the boat, you're on the other side. And this one is my favorite because you can use it continuously. Like, say you set up one boat on one side of it, and then you set up another boat on the other side of the border. Then the great thing about that is that you can literally just like go between whenever you want. There's just no like, it just doesn't matter. So yeah, you can just go between whenever you want. This one's my personal favorite because, like I said, then you just have to create like a staircase or whatever. I ran out of blocks. That's my fault. Anyway, just create like a staircase. You can just go between, just constantly. It's great. It's great. So yeah, that one is the best by far. Okay, now this is where the fun begins, because you see, these things are impossible to break with tools. For example, you can't break these like with your pickaxe, with your axe, nothing. None of that's gonna work. because the border blocks. But they failed to anticipate one thing: explosives. So essentially, you can just get your TNT, or any, like, you can get a creeper, and crystal, anything explosive, blow it up, and now this is still a wall. Like, the border blocks underneath. You're not gonna just walk through. Like I said, not even entities can get through this wall. But you can use any of the other methods, and you can, get through. The one thing about this, though, is that if you really don't want to have just an annoying hole in your border, because, like I said, you can't place blocks here, so this is just gonna be like this for the rest of the time. If this is annoying you, well, too bad. So maybe that's just really frustrating for you personally. Well, what I would do is, this is for the more complicated. This is kind of complicated, but it's not that bad. So just get some redstone, make a little thing like that. Gonna remove this. You can extract the blocks. You're gonna take the glass, take this. Maybe a free hole. Stuck that one Clash of Clans short. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's just like a huge shield and there's just a random hole. So basically, you can just use all the other techniques, at least most of the techniques. I'm not sure how many of them actually work. At least on this one, but I'm pretty sure they all should work. And honestly, I wonder if the chorus fruit works. The chorus fruit just might work in general, but it might not. Yeah, it's okay. So you can just use the chorus fruit anyway. But like I said, that one's just kind of annoying. And finally, the huge, annoyingly tall bedrock wall. Now, this is for the person who really, really wants to do everything in their power to keep you out. This bedrock wall goes to max height, and this bedrock wall goes all the way down to, bedrock, the bottom of the world. Not to mention, they have border blocks somewhere at the bottom too, probably below the bedrock if they can, or at least on bedrock level, that don't allow you to get anywhere close to breaking this. They're wrong, because there are glitches you can use to break bedrock, but I'm not going to go through that right now, because that's kind of, out of my area of expertise. So you can still break the bedrock, but I don't know, this is just so you can't just build all the way up and just walk over. That's exactly what we're gonna do, because this person failed to account for my entity glitch. So we're just gonna, build all the way up. I'll do a fancy time lapse. Okay, I was off by 1 block. Sue me. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. The same thing goes. So essentially, you can. I'm just gonna set. I don't want to die, so just in case. Essentially, you should be able to just pearl over and pray it doesn't kill you. It didn't. Okay, so it might also be possible to just force boot, but it is bedrock, so okay, you can. So things that this seems like a terribly inefficient method, and it kind of is, because you do have to waste pearls. But if you have an Enderman farm, that wouldn't be that big of a deal. Also, if you have a bubble elevator that just takes you up to world height, and you can just chuck one over, that would be very, very simple, and it's not going to be that bad of a journey. Or you can use chorus fruit, which does work, but is semi-unreliable, and you might have to get a lot of chorus fruit to guarantee that you can get over to the other side. But essentially, that's all the ways that I'm aware of. I'm sure there are other ways. Like I said, you can break bedrock if you can. If you can break bedrock, you can break these blocks for sure. But you just can't break them with tools. Like I said, I found my way to break it with TNT and stuff. But that doesn't mean that you're gonna be able to, just break it with tools and stuff. So you're gonna have to figure out a way around that. And these methods, I'm gonna go back and say this. My personal favorite method is definitely the boat. This is the bed. No, my personal favorite method is definitely the boat, because the boat is just, you can just get to the other side regularly, and doesn't matter. I think I messed this one up, so I'm not going to use it, but just do the same thing you did on that side. I think this one might. Okay, never mind, that one does work. Anyway, just do the same thing you did on this side. Just copy on both sides. You can get between seamlessly whenever you want. And the best part about having this many strategies is that if they do patch one of these, odds are you can still use the rest. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys can impress your friends or bully your friends with this now. I'm not going to judge you. Yeah, so please like, subscribe, do all that stuff. It really helps the channel. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter, because I applied for the TubeCraft server, which has some people you might know from my channel. Has Aiden, Mr. Pugs, and Chazzy. I applied for season 2 of it, so we're going to be hearing back on Saturday whether or not I'm in. But right now, I feel like it's looking rather good, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get into the TubeCraft server. Basically, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's kind of just a server to hang out, a little bit of anarchy. You're allowed small amounts of griefing and whatnot, but yeah, I'm trying not to get my hopes up too, because you never know what's gonna happen. But I'll update you guys with what's happening on Twitter. Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, please like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, all that stuff, link in the description, and yeah, goodbye, guys.